right, thanks for being with us. We'll see you next time on The Chase Australia.
Tonight, Toowoomba's first COVID case in months.
Investigations into a horrific P-plater crash.
Services support the city's homeless.
And the local researcher mapping our hidden parts.
Across the Darling Downs and beyond, this is 7 News with Brough and Joanne Desmond.
Good evening. Thanks very much for joining us.
Good evening.
The Premier is calling for changes to travel exemptions after a Toowoomba consular official tested positive to COVID-19. He was allowed to skip hotel quarantine and isolate at home, with residents being reassured there's little risk to the community.
Cars queued in a long line at the local drive-through clinic again today after the city's first confirmed case of COVID-19 since March.
I want to make it very clear that that person has followed all necessary protocols.
Protocols which are now being questioned. The man in his 20s is a consular official who recently returned to Australia.
This person worked overseas in an embassy, so maybe now's not the time to have those exemptions.
He flew from Sydney to Maroochydore on a Jetstar flight with contact tracing now underway for other passengers.
He's isolating because he's a confirmed case. His wife is quarantining with him.
There is very little risk of spread of COVID-19 from this person.
While some concern has been raised by the community, residents are being asked to focus on the facts. The issue of mandatory hotel quarantine for consular officials will be raised with National Cabinet.
And this will be reviewed, and I think it would be changed in the not too distant future.
Now is not the time for pointing the finger or apportioning blame. It's a matter of the state governments and the federal government working together to make sure this anomaly doesn't happen again.
No new cases of coronavirus were recorded in Queensland today.
This week is crucial, so we'll be monitoring everything over the coming week.
Carissa Kemp, 7 News.
The owner of a Toowoomba pet store is now facing 200 charges. Additional charges were laid against 42-year-old Nicole Bourne during a court appearance today. They include failing to provide food and water for animals and failing to provide appropriate treatment for injured animals. Her business, Pets Galore, was raided by the RSPCA earlier this year.
Our forensic police are investigating what they're calling an extremely tough car crash involving a P-plater in Toowoomba. 6 people were travelling in the Nissan Skyline when it hit a tree, throwing some passengers into the air and trapping others.
The P-plate was about the only thing not damaged in the wreck. Emergency services arrived at the distressing scene in Jellicoe Street about 3:30 Saturday morning.
There were multiple entrapments, plus also multiple ejections from the vehicle.
Yeah, very confronting scenes upon arrival, to see persons trapped inside the vehicle as well as persons laying on the road outside.
Rescue teams worked quickly to free the front seat passenger and driver.
They were fairly well technically trapped within the vehicle, and it took quite some time to be able to release, particularly the last casualty.
It did take a while to extricate everyone from the vehicle. One passenger, it took over an hour to extricate him from the vehicle.
Paramedics treated 6 patients, both teenagers and young adults. 2 were critically injured. Forensic teams are now looking into the factors surrounding the crash.
And you can see by the car behind me, there's not a lot of room in there. There were 6 people in that vehicle.
Emergency services described the scene as one of the worst they'd attended. They're reminding local drivers to keep the fatal 5 in mind and to remember the effect crashes have on the wider community.
It does affect all emergency services. I can tell by the guys there this morning, you know, they're getting around a bit fairly sombre.
Ashley Whitaker, 7 News.
The parents of a young boy who died after an accident at a Toowoomba indoor play centre have launched legal action. 3-year-old Hunter Young fell and suffered critical head injuries at Inflatable World in 2016. Michelle and Lee Young are now suing for $2.7 million, alleging negligence against the company.
Vice-Chancellors across regional Queensland are waiting on more details before applying for new funding loans. But the multi-million-dollar support by the state government has been welcomed to try to safeguard jobs.
Universities have been hit hard during the pandemic, but today Vice-Chancellors started their week on a positive note.
Just gives surety to a business, doesn't it? So that's what we're excited about.
The excitement follows yesterday's announcement by the state government of a $150 million rescue package.
This is about keeping their workforce in place during COVID.
It's not a handout, but an interest-free loan, with the money to be paid back in 5 years.
Particularly for regional universities, this sort of support is really critical for us.
We're in a situation where if we need to borrow, we can, and we have the capacity to pay back.
The sector is forecasting a loss of $1 billion this year and could put up to 4,000 jobs at risk. That's partly because of the drastic drop in the number of international students. It's hoped the loan package will allow regional universities to continue operating more or less as normal.
We'll decide as we go along how it applies to us and how much we would be applying for with the loan process.
And don't have to make too many more cuts in the out years, particularly as the international operations start to re-emerge.
Carissa Kemp, 7 News.
New data has shown Toowoomba's social housing availability is among the worst in the country. Locals who are sleeping rough were today linked with invaluable resources at an awareness expo for National Homelessness Awareness Week.
Life on the streets isn't just physically tough.
People look down at you because you're not equal to them, and they don't know what we were before. Like, I own my own restaurant, I own my own house.
Sean is one of around 500 people sleeping rough in Toowoomba. Today's expo was a way to shed some of the stigma.
It feels a little embarrassing, but it's the fact of the atmosphere created by TIFF and all them. They've made us feel comfortable with it. Yeah, shaved the shame off of it.
One of the biggest things when you're homeless is often you're not connected, and that makes exiting homelessness really hard.
Local organisations displayed their services, which range from counselling to a haircut.
Somewhere where they're treated with dignity and respect, just to enjoy time with friends.
We have up to 6 beds for young people at any one time.
We offer dignity and respect to people that are doing a little bit tough, maybe living on the streets, through the value of a free haircut.
COVID-19 has forced hundreds of locals to ask for a hand.
We're seeing a lot of new faces. In the month of July alone, I think we saw about 38 new women that we've not seen before.
The Homeless for a Week annual Sleep Out fundraiser also starts tonight.
It's a nice warm day, so hopefully the night doesn't cool down too much.
Donations can still be made online. Ashley Whittaker, 7 News.
A Toowoomba researcher is mapping the state's hidden land in a new study. Jo Owens uses satellite imagery to better understand key agriculture and water modelling across the state. She's focusing on areas with woody vegetation, which previously couldn't be seen.
So how much grass we can grow, and then how much cattle we can have on there to graze sustainably, so that we have sustainable stocking rates over the long term.
It's hoped the first results of the project will be published next year.
And ahead in 7 News tonight, a month-long campaign putting the spotlight on rural roads.
And kids hit the books for MS Read-a-thon.
One farmer
That's true, then.
is about to have his heart broken.
Yep. She just betrayed me. I definitely liked her, but I don't want to get hurt again. Hey. Probably best to not come back to the farm.
Who will be sent home? New Farmer Wants a Wife, tonight on 7.
It's laundry season at Harvey Norman. Wash smarter with the latest technology from all the leading brands. Save up to $1,200 on selected AEG packages, or up to $600 on selected ASCO laundry packages. We have dryers in stock from $369. Front-load washers with steam to sanitize and care for your delicate items from $698. King-size washers to save you time from $899. Shop in-store and online. Limited time, now at Harvey Norman.
G'day, Chris O'Brien here from Lockyer Valley Ford, your local family-owned business. There's the perfect Ford motor vehicle for absolutely everyone. From the sleek Focus and the sophisticated SUV range, right through to the robust and award-winning Ranger with the brand new FX4 model. For all your parts, service, sales and finance needs, Come and see our team and experience our old-fashioned country town service. At Lockyer Valley Ford, come for a deal, drive away with a smile.
This isn't any old product launch. This is your new Tab app launching into space, where its technical prowess is absolutely wasted, where venue mode won't unlock exclusive promos at your local, where live Sky Vision channels are pointless. We could have just launched in at a pub, but space is cooler. Get the homegrown advantage here. Well, not here. Down there where it works. Tab. Long may we play.
Jack!
We thought Hunter could use a new home too.
Is there room for one more?
Dream home with memories to call my own. It's my Tondo home. It's my Tondo home.
This is the World Cup of cooking.
Welcome to Plate of Origin.
Sometimes everybody needs us.
Food from all corners of the globe will compete right here in Australia.
Whose country has the best food on the planet?
Let the flames begin! Plate of Origin.
On 7. Tasty, affordable and delicious. What's for dinner in the next break with Coles?
Thanks for joining us here on 7. A man in his 20s has been flown to hospital after he was seriously injured by a falling tree near Kingaroy. Paramedics and the Life Flight rescue crew were called to a property where the man had been chopping firewood. He was stabilised and then flown to Toowoomba Hospital with suspected spinal injuries.
The family of a woman killed in a crash on a regional Queensland highway have shared their heartbreaking story to mark Rural Road Safety Month. The August campaign aims to raise awareness about road safety and remember the lives lost on rural roads.
Adrian Barnett's world was torn apart almost 3 months ago when his daughter was killed in a horrific highway crash.
Her name was Emily Leslie Ann Barnett. To many of you, she will only be a number in this year's car incident casualty list.
But her family wants others to know she was not just another statistic.
She was someone we shared nights stargazing with while laying on trampolines, not falling asleep until 2 a.m. because she wouldn't stop laughing.
They're speaking up to raise awareness this Rural Road Safety Month. The Australian Road Safety Foundation today launched its national campaign to honour the lives lost on Australian roads. These hats represent the 835 people killed last year.
Road trauma in rural areas represents more than 2/3 of the actual road trauma that occurs in this particular section of the nation.
Many families have been obviously distraught by the impacts of these fatalities.
New statistics have also revealed 1 in 4 Queenslanders is likely to drive dangerously on the rural roads compared to city streets or highways, and the foundation says that's just not good enough.
The complacency can't creep in. We have to be aware all the time that a road crash could happen anywhere at any time.
Anna McGraw, 7 News.
A young brother and sister are making libraries cool again while supporting a good cause. Charlie and Ella Johnson are taking part in the MS Read-a-thon in honour of their grandmother who died from the debilitating disease.
Charlie enjoys reading books full of action. Little sister Ella likes stories about dogs.
I like reading because you can just sit down somewhere quiet and just have time to yourself.
They are 2 of around 10,000 Queensland kids taking part in the MS Read-a-thon. The Johnson siblings are turning pages for their grandma.
My grandma had MS and she, I think, passed away about a year ago.
Multiple sclerosis is a disease that affects the central nervous system. There's no cure.
Some people lose their sight, some people lose the ability to walk, so it's got really wide range of symptoms.
Money raised from the annual Read-a-thon helps pay for family camps.
At those camps, kids who have a parent living with MS come together, learn about MS and just get to meet other kids who are sharing their journey.
MS Queensland wants to make $2 million this year. Ella and Charlie have already raised $500. The more they read, the more people donate.
We set a goal. My goal was around 20 to 25 books.
I've had a head start already.
Sophie Tetzlaff, 7 News.
Yes, Charlie and Ella, that's a wonderful cause. Well done. OK, we'll get into the sport. The O'Callaghan Cup, Nath, has a new home, mate.
It does, Brough. It's back at Toowoomba Grammar after the school took out the annual Rugby Schoolboys Challenge against Downlands. We'll have all the highlights next. And in the Battle of the Thunder and Lightning, the top teams in soccer's Queensland Premier League couldn't be split.
Hi guys, I'm Colin Fastnich.
I'm May. And I'm Lily.
And today we are making one of the simplest and most hearty chicken soups for under $5 a portion. So today we're using a whole chicken, so we're going to get all the flavour from the bones and then we're going to use the meat in the soup. So it's a double-edged recipe. So what do we need for this recipe, Lily?
Garlic, onion, carrot and celery with apple cider vinegar and soy sauce.
What else do we need, Meg?
Soup mix with lentils, split peas and barley.
What herbs are we going to add to our soup?
We got thyme, bay leaves and rosemary.
What we're going to do is we're going to sweat off our vegetables in a little bit of olive oil.
Now you want to stir to sweat it all down.
Okay, after 5 minutes we're going to add our chicken to the vegetables.
Now I'm going to add rosemary, bay leaves and thyme.
Give it a good scattering in there. It's going to give great flavour. Now we're going to add our water, enough to cover. Now we're going to add our soy sauce. So this gives it beautiful colour and it also adds a seasoning. So a good glove of soy sauce. And then for a bit of acidity, we're going to add a splash of vinegar. Any vinegar is fine. I'm using apple cider vinegar.
So now we're going to bring it to the boil and then simmer it for 15 minutes. The chicken's been cooking for 15 minutes. Now we're going to add the soup mix in to cook for another 10 minutes.
Okay, so we've removed our chicken from this beautiful broth and soup. Now all we're going to do now is portion it up. Falling off the bone. Then you're going to add your soup mix, your barley, your split peas, your vegetables. So this is the easiest but the best soup mix you're gonna get. You poach your chicken in your stock with your vegetables, you add your soup mix, and the best thing about it, you've got a beautiful broth for the rest of the week. And that stock is to die for. How is it, Lily?
Super delicious. That's mine.
Oh.
She took my line.
So that's our whole poached chicken and soup veg with split peas, barley and lentils. You can feed the family for under $5 a portion.
Superlicious.
Welcome back to 7 News. Toowoomba Grammar has earned the right to schoolboys rugby supremacy in Toowoomba, winning 10 of the 12 games in the annual O'Callaghan Cup on Saturday. The TGS First 15 took back the trophy in a dominant display, beating Downlands 24-10 in the main game.
Up 7-3 in the opening stages of the game, TGS came out with a point to prove.
We spoke all week how we've got to be patient, and the boys did that. And yeah, we spoke about field position. We get down there and we convert it to points.
The preceding minutes saw the sides in a tight tussle from end to end.
We had a lot of pressure there and momentum at points, but we just didn't capitalise off it.
Grammar asserted their authority once again, leading into the break up by 9.
Our backs executed really well, really quick, and they just ran on the outside, got a try.
As pressure built, tension soared, with competition spilling over the sidelines. Downlands fought to regain their momentum in the second. Sebastian Cialu pushed through, narrowing the gap to just 2 points. But Grammar held their composure.
We made a few easy adjustments, and the boys just did really well. We sort of speak about those scenarios, and the boys put it into plan really well.
Just 5 minutes later, Joseph Curry charged down the left, fending off the defence to cross in the corner, putting his side in prime position, ahead 19-10.
I think they had a bit of speed on when they went down the left side and kind of cruelled us there a little bit.
Skipper Hamish Muller extended the lead soon after, taking back the O'Callaghan Cup. Final score 24-10.
I knew it was going to be an arm wrestle tonight, that's for sure, and our boys certainly came to the party.
Everything out there, so we're not too disappointed, and we played for our jerseys and we played for the Griffin on our chest.
Desmond and Dickinson, 7 News.
Sticking with rugby, in the battle of the unbeaten Rangers and Bears in the Risdon Cup ended with both teams still yet to lose. The Bears launched an epic comeback in the second half to tie the game in the dying minutes.
On the back of 2 major wins, the Toowoomba Rangers took to the field with confidence. Ahead 15-3 in the early stages of the first half, they were on track for a 3rd straight victory.
To start the game, we probably weren't really clinical with our set piece. Once we fixed up a little bit, Matty Pemberthy sort of fixed us up there in the line out, and once we sorted that out, I thought with ball in hand we looked pretty good.
Coming out in the second half, the Bears were relentless. Adrian Irwin crossed the line to lock the scores at 15-all. Soon after, the Rangers answered back with Hudson Meyer putting his side back on top. But the game was far from over for the Bears, who capitalised on the home side's mistakes.
Oh, I think we just gave away too many penalties, mate. A bit of discipline around the ruck hurt us, but that's footy.
A try in the last 5 minutes put the Bears within reach as Will Jackson converted to tie the game. That's where it would finish at 22-all draw.
Come out there and get a draw against a pretty quality Rangers outfit was probably not a bad result and probably the right result in the end. I think we started really well, but yeah, credit to the Bears. They really dug in and made it really hard for us and made a real game out of it.
Desmond and Dickinson, 7 News.
And the 2 best teams in soccer's Queensland Premier League also couldn't be split in Toowoomba yesterday afternoon. In the battle between first and second, the South West Thunder drew with the visiting Logan Lightning 2-2.
Ladder leaders Lightning opened the scoring in the 3rd minute of play, setting the tone early on. A penalty soon after saw the Thunder strike back with their first goal.
We try to stick to our game plan. We play it up the middle a lot, short, sharp passes.
The battle continued with neither side willing to concede, but the Thunder found their way through to lead into the break up 2-1.
We went down 2-1 in half-time and we just said to push on and go for it, and we needed to be braver on the ball.
The Lightning came out firing in the second, eager to claw back the lead.
That was 5, 6, 7 yellow cards, I think. It was really, really aggressive and we knew they were going to come strong.
They did well, they pressed us. I think they knew we were going to try and play out from the back like we always do, and they pressed us well from the front.
A mistake from the home side late in the second levelled the scores, 2-all at full time.
Second half I thought we were the better team, like I said, but overall probably a fair result based upon the first half as well.
It does keep us second, but we were pushing for those 3 points, so we'll just forgive and forget and move on to next week at home.
And it was a pleasing result for the Thunder women, who also claimed a 1-all draw against 7th placed QAS.
Yeah, it was really exciting, especially against QAS, who are very technically good. It was a big confidence booster for us, that's for sure.
Desmond and Dickinson, 7 News.
We expected some great games of footy on the weekend. They certainly delivered, and that's it for sport. Thanks, guys.
Lovely day. Thank you both.
All right, we'll stay with us after the break. Livio has all the weather details for us.
Major new revelations in Madeleine McCann's disappearance, all leading to one person. The hunt for the prime suspect tonight.
Turn today's old, broken, unwanted or unloved jewellery into cash. Gold Merchants Australia has a better way to turn your gold or silver into money to spend. For this week only, bring it to the Kingaroy RSL this Wednesday, Toowoomba Central Plaza Apartment Hotel Thursday, or Toowoomba Central Plaza Apartment Hotel this Friday, and GMA will pay cash on the spot for it. They'll assess it in front of you, then pay you their top price. Take any unwanted gold or silver jewellery to any of these locations this week only.
No need to freeze. Joyce Main has a huge range of heating solutions. Budget options to full home heating. Get the hottest prices on the big brands and latest technology. Heating solutions from Joyce Main, keeping you cozy this winter.
No worries.
That's a knife.
We asked where the man from down under has been hiding.
You have a knife, but mine's bigger. That's not the line.
That is certainly Paul Hogan.
I still got it.
the seam. Tell us what you've got there. Toilet paper?
Nah, just dinner stuff.
Right. You must have paid an unprecedented price for that during these unprecedented times.
Nah, they're from Aldi. Prices are always low.
Let's just go.
Whatever happens, our low prices are here to stay. Aldi. Good. Different.
No need to freeze. Joyce Main has a huge range of heating solutions. Budget options to full home heating. Get the hottest prices on the big brands and latest technology. Heating solutions from Joyce Main, keeping you cosy this winter.
No worries.
Is it painting your masterpiece or painting the town red? Experience the benefits of active lifestyle resort living. Arrange a personal tour today at gemlife.com.au.
One farmer
That's true then.
is about to have his heart broken.
Yep. She just betrayed me. I definitely liked her, but I don't want to get hurt again. Hey. Probably best to not come back to the farm.
Who will be sent home? New Farmer Wants a Wife, tonight on 7.
Is there something wrong with the track?
Play what we just recorded in reverse. Call my name, I'll be there in a hurry.
And the Aussie taking on the world's biggest stage, blindfolded. America's Got Talent, Tuesday 7:30 on 7.
This weather report brought to you by GemLife, a whole new life.
Good evening, Livio Regano with tonight's weather. Nights have warmed up across Queensland and the frost is all but gone. And so is most of the rain, except for a few stubborn lingering showers in the wet tropics. So make the most of the balmy weather before the next major rain event affects all of us towards the end of this week. Temperatures today were mild after a cold night in the valleys, with Toowoomba ranging from 9 to 19 degrees. The top in Warwick was 22 after a low this morning of just 2 degrees. For the time being, the satellite loop is quite featureless. There's still some low cloud, of course, around the Cassowary coast, where showers have actually been quite solid overnight, but they're on their way out, and tomorrow there'll probably be just a little trickle left over. The rest of the state is basically drying up now. Over the next few days, though, we'll see some more cloud thicken up from the west, and eventually Thursday, Friday, it could actually bring a good amount of rain to most of eastern Queensland after it drenches the west, which needs it also. On today's chart now, you can see it's a weakening ridge pattern. So we've got southeasterlies, it's an onshore breeze, plenty of moisture, so the nights are warmer, but it's not strong anymore like it was a day or two ago because the high is starting to get closer and it's weakening down to 1,022 now. Tomorrow's chart, the high weakens even further as it moves north, and in its vicinity the winds go almost light and variable, so there'll be hardly any wind at all, so coastal waters will be nice and smooth. On the outlook chart, though, we see the next in a system of troughs move across central Australia, which by Thursday, Friday will enter Western Queensland to start increasing the rain. Now, the latest from the Weather Bureau, the Darling Downs and Granite Belt forecast, a fine, though partly cloudy day, 23 the top for Dalby, Gundawindi 25 degrees, Toowoomba 19, Warwick 6 up to 21. For the southeast coast districts, some cloud tomorrow, but again no rain. Gatton 8 to 25 degrees, same top of 25 for Ipswich, Brisbane a high of 24. Looking ahead for Toowoomba, the warmth starts building up during the second half of this week, especially at night. Rain developing on Thursday, Friday, clearing on Saturday, and a modest cool change next week. For Warwick, again, Friday looks like the wettest day, at least by probability, almost 100% chance of rain, clearing after that and down to 15 degrees by Sunday. And for Dalby again, temperatures rising, especially at night. We get the rain coming at the end of the week, and then after the cool change comes the cloud clears and there's no rain anymore. And that's all for this evening, my friends. Pleasure to have your company once again, and thanks for watching 7 Local Weather. I'll be back tomorrow with more on the saga. Hope you can join me then. Now it's back to the team.
Yeah, Luke, good on you, mate. Thank you very much. Thanks for your company, and see you tomorrow night.
And just a reminder that you can watch a replay of our news on 7+. From all of us, good night.
Good night.
Tonight in